As Americans, we often voice our opinions when we feel something isn't quite right. An effective way of doing that is through music. Our man on music, Dave Tarbert, reports on a local band taking their message on the road. A very long road.
You might recall a sea of tents blanketing Edgewater Park last year. Those tents belong to 800 great peace marchers who donned their sneakers and boots to walk from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. to draw attention to the nuclear arms race. As they marched through Cleveland, their peaceful message, as you guessed, was no nuclear weapons. From that 9-month march came plenty of blisters, a satisfaction of physically acting on a belief, and a talented group of musicians. Collective Vision formed somewhere in Nevada during the Peace March and played music straight through to Washington, sending a strong message with that music. After the march, they decided to stay together as a group and now live in Shaker Heights with the father of guitarist Doug McWilliams. Their music with a message is reminiscent of a 60s Bob Dylan or Joan Baez. As we found out, music is a very effective vehicle for a message.
It's not as direct and perhaps as confrontational as a speaker would be. So it gives people like a common medium to enjoy, and then you put the message through that. So it kind of clothes the medium that way.
Music is something that's always been a real integral part of my self-expression. And so to be able to combine that with talking about an issue that is pretty much all-encompassing and forefront in my mind right now is, yeah, it's a real powerful form of outreach.
During last year's Great Peace March, Doug McWilliams became a father. His wife, Janie, gave birth to their son, Arden, who became a peace marcher at the tender age of 15 days. For Doug, the march carried a variety of emotions, but just one message: no nukes.
Walk out some rage, I think, as I say in one of the songs. Walk out the rage that wells up inside. You know, for so long you feel so powerless about doing anything about an issue the size of the nuclear issue that it just felt real good to spend 9 months concentrating on it, actively addressing the issue and physically working out my rage.
Collective Vision has already covered our country from the East Coast to the West Coast. Today they're leaving to cover another country, Russia.
The sneakers and boots are back out of the closet, this time headed for Soviet soil. Collective Vision will sing and walk with 200 peace marchers from America and 200 peace marchers from Russia on a 420-mile jaunt from Leningrad to Moscow.
I just feel really grateful to be a part of it, and I'm trying not to have any expectations, trying to keep a very open mind, you know, to realize that we're going to be participating in a culture entirely different than our own, and so trying to filter some of my preconceptions that I may or may not realize.
The amount of death and destruction that they've experienced in relation to wars has to put peace as a #1 issue in their lives. It has to, because they lost 20 million people in World War II. So I think peace is a central issue. I think family is a central issue for them.
Using music to send a message is not unusual. Taking that message halfway across the world to make an impact is. Here's a tip of the hat to Cleveland's Collective Vision. And on Music, Dave Tarbert for Live on 5.
Members of Collective Vision begin their Soviet Union Peace March on Monday and will play and walk through July 5th. Our men on music will have an update on their trip when they return. And now switching to